Um, First of all, thank you for tuning in to this wonderful event. I know it's not the Super Bowl, but it's damn close.
Yeah.
Even better, I think.
Cool. I'm John Moran. I'm the CEO and big toe of this operation, which is Smart Beach Investor and At the Beach Team. And we also have a sister company called Beach Days Vacations. All right. I feel like Howard Stern. Hello. And who are you again?
I'm Kaylee Fusey. I'm a member of the At the Beach Team Buyer Specialist.
Ooh.
I'm Jackson Stanford. Ditto, same exact thing she said.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Fun.
Very good. And we are the Jackson 3. Well, could have been the Jackson 5, but I forgot you're even Jackson. What a thing. All right. So anyway, let's get back to it. What are we going to talk about today? This podcast or video or whatever the heck it is we're doing is intended for anybody that likes to come to Florida's Emerald Coast, right? Mm-hmm. Panama City Beach, South Walton County, Miramar Beach, Destin, Okaloosa Island, all the way to Navarre, and even if you want to go crazy, you can go over to Pensacola Beach. Love it over there, right? For like the Blue Angels or whatever.
Yeah. Blue Angel's always a great time.
Very cool. So yeah, where if you're a buyer, an owner, or a seller, whatever, or if you just like coming here and getting sunburned, we're all into it. Sand in your toes, right? Sand in your toes. But we're going to talk about real estate first. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to get in some really cool things later. You're going to want to stick around and hear about this. You can't talk about real estate without, pause. What did you do, Jackson? You had to do something fun. You young.
Yeah, I mean, the normal thing. We actually I went and saw the new movie Dune 2.
Dune 2.
It's apparently all the rage. I thought it was cool. People are saying it's better than Empire Strikes Back. Crazy. It's crazy take. Completely wrong. But it's really good.
The Empire Strikes Back is number 2 to Dune 2?
I think Empire Strikes Back's better. Everyone's saying it's better than Empire. I completely
Is that
disagree.
the one he says, Luke, I'm your father?
That is the one.
Okay, well, that is good.
Well, I've never seen any movies. Like, you could name any movie name, and I would not know. Any TV shows, like, you will not catch me in front of the TV screen.
Are you a reader?
No.
Okay.
My attention span is not long enough for that. I have to be doing
Pop
something
culture
all the time.
references for the rest of the show
all right.
now.
You're
Kaylee's
gonna-
not going to understand.
You're going to be hurting on that then.
I
Okay.
always just pretend like I know what's going on, but
Smart.
I don't.
Yeah, well, that is smart. I have not seen Dune 1 or 2, but I have seen Empire Strikes Back. All right, that's neither here nor there. What did you do? Anything other than not going to the movies?
They say work hard, play hard, but I'm starting to think it's work hard, work harder. 'Cause this weekend I just worked, so.
Oh, you're working for a living.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's nothing wrong with that. All right, so thank you for sharing your lives with us.
What about you, John? Did you do anything?
You know what? I did do something this weekend. I went up for dinner on Saturday evening, right? To a nice place. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but so I'm sitting there enjoying myself as I'm doing, right? Probably a couple beers in. But I'm living my dream, and this guy comes and taps me on the shoulder. And I look up, I'm like, oh, darn. I'm like, hey, what's up? Right? And the guy says, John Moran? The question? I'm like, I don't know. Who's asking, right?
Maybe.
I'm like, yeah, hey. And I'm thinking it's a client, right? I'm like, oh, yeah. Who the hell are you? Yeah. And he introduces himself. He says, hi, I'm Jeff Zellmer. We played football together. I hadn't seen him since 1989.
Wow.
1989, and there he is in the same restaurant I'm at the same time.
Small world.
Small world. So that was cool.
That is super cool.
Think about it, 1989. That's almost 3 years ago. And yeah, that was cool. That was what I did. That's kind of the highlight of my
Speaking of
life.
I saw your wife and your mom at First Watch on Sunday, and I was wondering where y'all were at, because we were all there, but y'all weren't.
So I think it's work and play, but it's work and work harder. That's where I was. I was hardly working. I'm hardly taking a nap. Yeah, small town, you can run into people. So yeah, that's cool because this guy and I hadn't seen each other since 1989, and here we are all these years. I can't even do the math, but a long time. Just random. So that's weird. But it was cool. Yeah, all right. So anyway, let's talk about what people actually care about. Let's talk about real estate. You cannot talk about real estate without talking about mortgage rates because it's just such a huge impact on what happens in our life. So I'm just going to tell you guys real quick. Interest rates are on for a 30-year fixed rate is down 6.375. So, not much, right? Are they going to go up? Everybody, I'm going to wait, right? You guys work with buyers. They ever ask you what's going on mortgage
That's
rates?
the first question out of their mouth.
Well, it's a big thing because it impacts the cost of owning and whatnot. And I can tell you this, I think Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, is doing an unbelievable job. Inflation's an issue. Keeping people working, getting prices down is just a massive issue. And as you can see with the graphic, and I think, Kate, can you throw it back up? For most of my adult life, interest rates were fairly low, right? You'll talk to my parents, well, interest rates were 80% when we bought this house, or 18% when we bought this house in the 80s. Well, that's cool. But they've been less than that. If you look, they've been less than 5% for my whole adult life. This graph goes back to, 2015, so roughly 10 years. But you can see what happened when COVID hit and they had to get inflation under control. And Jerome Powell raised them federal funds rates 11 times in like 15 months, and the highest, quickest increase ever in history. And now they're starting to get inflation under control. It's still high. We're going to talk about it. Let's go to the next one, the CPI, Katie. That's the Consumer Price Index. That's still up high enough where inflation's still a thing, and it is, right?
Yeah.
You guys buy stuff, right? Jackson, beer's expensive right now, right?
Yeah, it hits you in every way. There's no
Right.
escaping it. You see it in every aspect of your life. You see it at the gas pump. You see it going out to dinner.
Right.
I mean, it's all around us.
Yeah, I bet you spent over $100 at the movie theater this
Oh
weekend.
my lord.
Yeah, freaking taking out a second mortgage on a box of
Yeah.
popcorn.
You know, it's weird when you go to the movie and they got a banking set up in the lobby. But I mean, that's the way it
They
is
got
right
lenders. They got lenders out there.
now. Right? They're giving you, it's like in college when they give you credit cards.
Yeah.
You're just handing out credit cards everywhere. Here, sign up. But yeah, so it's expensive right now. CPI is still up. U.S. inflation was slightly stronger than expected last month, but did little to change expectations for the Federal Reserve. They're still likely going to cut rates, but it's going to be a little bit later. I think a lot of people were hoping it was going to be in March.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be in March. Maybe in June. I'm not even sure it's going to happen in June. But here's the thing. Real estate and buying stuff and mortgage rates and whatever, if you want a property, you should buy the darn property. I mean, if you can afford it and if the numbers work.
Mm-hmm.
Because over time, not all the time, but over time, prices do go up. And we've talked about that in the past. And if rates do go down, you can refi into a lower rate. But if the numbers work at today's rates, they're going to work even better if rates come down. But I don't know that prices are going to come down much. I know a lot of folks are really hoping they are.
Yeah.
But because we're so undersupplied with real estate, with houses, and we've talked about that in the past, it's a supply and demand game, and there's just no supply. So, and we're going to talk about this in future conversations about who owns the beach next week, because if there's no beach to come, then that's really going to cause some issues there too. But supply and demand, and I think there's just no supply, and because of that, we're going to see prices stay high regardless of the rates.
Yeah.
Regardless of the
And
rates.
they will continue to rise.
They're going to continue to rise.
When I met with my buyers this weekend, the very first question they asked me, they were like, why is everything sitting on the market so long? They said, are the prices too high? And so that, I feel like that's what everyone's wondering right now, if the prices are too high.
Are the prices too high? And a valid question, fair question, right? Why are they sitting? I was talking to a gentleman, he's an attorney here locally. And here's the thing, first of all, we saw this last weekend activity pick up dramatically. You're working with a lot of buyers right now, right? What do you got, like 6-8 buyers or so? I mean, at least some curious folks, right?
Sure.
So yeah, and we put 4 under contract since Friday. I think we're currently negotiating 5 more deals right now. So business is booming. Look at that big boy. Woo. He's booming, right? That's what I would look like if I was bald and had a black suit. But at any rate, business is picking up. Now, you said they were sitting, and they have been sitting. A lot of real estate sitting, and you're not wrong on that. The days on market are up. But I think what happens is we came out of that fast times at COVID high, and people had time, they had money, they had stimulus checks, they had PPP loans, they had all this stuff. They weren't working, they're from home, and they were coming to the beach or buying real estate across the country. Real estate prices skyrocketed, and all that came into play. And then the rates went up really fast. Jerome Powell raised the rates, all that stuff. And I think what happened is people got, like, whoa, what happened? And then they paused, right? When you don't know what's going on, you pause. So they paused and they said, okay, I think rates are going to come back down. And if they don't, prices will come back down. And what happened over the last year? Did rates come down?
No.
Not even close. Did prices come down?
No.
Not much, if at all, right? They may have stopped going up, maybe, unless you're on 38, then it's still, every man for himself. But no, prices have not come down, rates have not come down. And so, Jackson, you said this earlier, what's happening right now?
Well, it's going back to what you were just saying. I mean, it's kind of like everyone thought the good times were going to be forever. And I mean, they will one day. But I mean, what's really happening and what we're seeing with the people we're working with is, it was this big feel it out area. Now, I think people are starting to realize that this is somewhat of the new norm as far as the rates and the prices. And a lot of these people have always said, I want a place there. I want a place there. I'll wait. And it's like in anything. You go to the gas pump, it's up. You're eventually going to have to put gas in your car. You're just going to have to accept what's going on. And people say, I still really want that place there. So they're willing to pay those prices. And I think that's what we're going to keep seeing as this year goes on.
I think they're getting comfortable with the rates.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I think so too. Like that analogy you said with the toll bridge, that's what I told my buyers. And I think that's what's happening.
Yep.
It's going to become the new norm and people are going to get used to it.
They put up a bridge, right? That wasn't there before. They can say, we're going to charge a toll to cross it. It's going to be $1.50 a time to cross. Oh my word, $1.50. I would never.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start going across it, and now it's $5 to cross.
Mm-hmm.
But you get used to it. You get comfortable with it.
You either get on the train or you get left behind, because people are going to keep playing the game. It costs money, it costs time, it costs energy to play the game. If everyone else is playing the game, you're going to either have to get on or get left behind.
Right.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You going to go to the beach in Omaha?
Yeah.
Good luck, right? So yeah, I don't think you're going to see much reprieve on prices, maybe in certain spots in some areas and whatnot, and we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see as things go forward. But if you're wanting a place here at the beach, I would pull that trigger if the numbers work, right? If it meets your goal for buying, you should definitely do it, because they ain't making any more beach.
No.
And yeah, buy it if you can. And it's getting busy. Matter of fact, we ran into a multiple offer situation on a property. I mean, things have been sitting. Next thing you know, we're like, okay, let's make an offer. Oh, sorry, it's under contract. And you have to back up. Oh, really? What the heck? But all right. So yeah. So business is picking up. If you're thinking of buying or selling, look into it, because
this is normally what you see, right? The winter, it's a little sleepy, everyone's kind of feeling it. And then as soon as people start coming down, they see friends, family start posting those pictures. They see the people here at the beach and they go, man, I really want to be at the beach. So then they pick up the phones, they say, what's going on down there? And it just kind of moves and moves throughout the season.
And a guy telling me, like, because I was asking him, what in the wide world of sports is happening? Rates are still high, prices are still high, unemployment's questionable, all this stuff. Soft landing, I don't know. Why are we getting busy? It's March. Okay, good. Why are we busy? Dude, it's March. Every March it picks up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but we're always talking about mortgage rates and stuff. Why are people coming? He's like, have you seen the beach?
Yeah.
In November, December, January, the light's bad, the water's not that pretty, all that stuff. But once March rolls around, daylight savings, the light starts to soften, the water turns different colors, the wind changes, all that stuff. We get some of the prettiest damn beaches in the world here, right? You start seeing that on social media. It starts to be 85 degrees, 80 degrees, spring break, pretty water, nice soft white sand. And I'm where? I'm in Maine? What the hell am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
I need a place at the beach. And now it's not about the investor. It's about the emotion thing. I want a place at the beach, right? I don't care. If I can get somebody to help pay for it, cool. If I can get a return, cool. And that's good. That's good. I like it. So it's busy. All right. What else do we got? We got anything else on that?
Business picking up. That's about it. It was about what do you say, a week ago, kind of flipped a switch.
It's weird.
Mhm.
Yep. It's like game on. Let's play. All right. So if business is picking up, let's talk about some of the issues that we're facing. And we've talked about this before. Let's talk about the milestone in the Sears, the reserve study, right? It's a thing. We're running into it. You have a buyer, Kaylee, right now that's bumping up against this a little bit, right? What's happening from your point of view, do you think?
So like we said, business is picking up, so we got to work harder. That means we're going to need to be getting in contact with more people, getting these questions answered for our clients. And so we went out this weekend. My buyers really love this condo, and I see in the listing that there's a pending assessment on the building, the milestone inspection, and we're trying to get a hold of the HOA, which took a few days. Finally got a hold of them today, and then they tell us that there is no estimate for how much the assessment's going to cost. So we're just running into a lot of issues getting information.
All right, so let's just talk about it real quick. Go back to the building, Katie, can you? So the milestone, it's always been out there. The reserve study, all that's been out there. But a few years ago, when the condo fell in Sunnyside, Florida, and I think I read that they tied it to a pool in a leak and whatnot, but it crashed or came down, like 98 people or some crazy number of folks got killed. I mean, horrible. And what it prompted the state to do, and the governor and whatever, DeSantis, whoever it was, they really upped the ante on these buildings to do these milestone inspections. And all that is, quite simply, is, here, I got it right here, as a matter of fact. Why don't you pull it up, Katie? Phase 1 of the milestone inspection is the visual examination, identification of structural deterioration aided by drone technique, whatever. They're taking a hard look at the building, seeing if there's any failures or anything that might cause this thing to fall.
They're assessing the structural integrity.
Structural integrity, right on. And then phase 2 is they're saying you got to get it fixed. All right, if there's problems, we don't want this thing falling down and killing people. Now, the second part of this is the structural integrity reserve study, the Sears it's called. This has to do with the budget of the HOA, of the condo itself. Do they have enough money set aside to do repairs to the structural stuff, the roof, the decks, the painting, the stuff that holds a building together? Do they have enough funding in the reserves to do it? And there's some rules that are required. And so what's happening is they're doing these engineering studies. They're looking at their forensic accounting to look at their budgets, and they're determining that they might be coming up short in some of these condos. Not everyone, not all of them, but they're coming up short, and there's some structural issues, and that requires a special assessment. There's some costs that may occur. Now, you don't have to freak out and say, oh, every building's going to have $1 gazillion. It's not the case. Some buildings are going to have some issues sometimes, but they got to find out what it is. And there could be some issue with that. And then with the reserves, what's happened is there's been a lot of deferred maintenance where HOAs haven't wanted to spend money on some stuff that probably needed to, just to keep it going, just like we do at home, right? Oh, the door doesn't close quite right, but that's all right. I'm used to it. I'm
Yeah.
But, or, the whole house is leaning a little bit. That's weird, but yeah, I'm good. I can tilt a little bit myself. All that kind of stuff. But that's what's happening with these buildings. And so they've underfunded some of the reserves.
Yep.
And the state's coming back and saying, no, you can't do that. You got to up your reserves, and you got a certain amount of time to get to that level of threshold. And so there's some conversation of what that may be, which may require a special assessment on top of everything else. And that's why buyers are so weird. Like, how much is it going to be?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't know, I mean, what do you say to somebody? I don't know. It could be a lot, it could be a little.
Yeah, 5,000 or 50,000. That's a real big difference.
And then what happens is you start to get the monster under the bed syndrome, like, or the scary person in the closet. There's nobody in the closet, but the more you think about it, you're like, oh my God, maybe there is.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they're really big. Maybe there's what's a vampire. Next thing you know, this is crazy ass vampire in your closet is about to kill you. You're like, what? Because you just don't know, right? And you're cowering in bed. Is that just me? Is just me doing this stuff?
Is that how you go to bed every night?
I got a therapist. All right, is it wrong? I don't know. It's not wrong. At any rate, my therapist says I'll be fine.
That's completely normal.
Just keep paying the bills. Yeah. So, but my point of all this, you guys, is this. This leads to opportunities.
Yes.
Right? Because you've lived this. HOA, hey, what's going on? Who is this? Right? Oh, hey, click. Oh, sorry, we got disconnected. Right? They're reticent to answer questions, right? It's hard to get answers.
Yeah, let me tell you, I just got off the phone with them before this live. I said, hey, I'm so-and-so. Can you give me some information? And she said, we don't have any information. And it was just silent. And I was like, you have to give me something. Like,
Yeah.
I know you know something. So we kind of had to sit there, and she kind of beat around the bush, but we finally got some information. But that's just.
But it's hard for them because think about it. They don't know either. They've hired an engineer who's maybe going to show up, maybe not. Maybe this 3 more weeks, 4 more weeks. Then you got the HOA attorneys. You know, they got to look at this stuff. And they're crossing out stuff. Don't say anything about it. And in the meantime, don't tell anybody anything about anything. Just that's what they're telling people, right? And we're calling, hey, I got a question about the HOA. Yeah, no, click, right? It's hard. And then a lot of agents don't know. A lot of owners don't know about this. It's a fairly new situation. So where's the opportunity? We're always looking. Where's the opportunity? You got one shot, one opportunity. Can you believe I'm not a singer? I know I can't either. But at any rate, the opportunity is here. Create a known, right? If you own in a building, get on your HOA. Get this study done so we know. Is it going to be money? Great. We know how much we can deal. Is it not going to be money? Great. Now we know. Because then buyers can make good decisions. It's that unknown. Get that inspection done, good or bad. Get the reserves. Figure out what the reserves are, good or bad. And what I'm finding as I look into this more and more, and I've been selling condos for 20 years, this is a new test, right? Again, this goes back to some of these buildings aren't in super great shape. Some are in a super awesome shape, but most of them are in pretty good shape. And I think you're going to find that there's not going to be these massive. Of course, you're going to hear about the one that, oh yeah, it was $800 million, and you know, I got screwed over, and right? Yeah, there's always the one. But most of the time, most of them are pretty good. Is there going to be some assessment? Probably, but it's going to be bringing a building up to really high code.
Yeah, I think that's something good you're touching on there. It's like what we try to tell a lot of our buyers is, you know, this is a good thing ultimately. I mean, we're protecting the safety and the integrity of these buildings, and you know, a lot of times when we're talking about Sears and all these stuff, I mean, it's really going to set the precedent going forward that they are going to be prepared for anything that goes wrong, and that we're going to minimize a lot of these catastrophic damages. They're going to be able to be downplayed because everything will be up to these codes.
Yeah.
Right. And the milestone is very current right now. The reason it is a big thing is because if the buildings are 25 years or older, they have to be assessed by the end of this year. So after the end of this year, hopefully those buildings that are older, they will be assessed. And once they get the problems figured out, we'll be able to move forward.
Right on, right on. I think it's 30 years.
30
I like yours, right?
30 years.
But yeah, if it's 30 years or older, they have to get it done this year. If it's 30 years or younger, they have to have it done by Christmas or December 31st, 2025. So, but look into it. It's a thing. We'll post some stuff on our sites for this stuff too. But yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt right now.
Yeah, it's just because it's new. It's new for us. It's new for them. It's new for the HOA.
Yep. But we're gonna make it an opportunity. We're gonna take it and take a thing that's maybe a little bit of a headache, and we're gonna turn it into a positive. And we're gonna help our buyers, and we're certainly gonna help our sellers. You know, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant right now.
Go
some
ahead.
other stuff, right? We work with a lot of investors who want to buy properties, right? And I love my brother and sister, real estate agents. Love them, but not all the time, right? Because here's the thing. If you own a property, if you guys ever hire a real estate agent, all right, make sure they have a plan. They know what they're doing. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. It's this. If you have a property as a rental, make sure you're posting what the income of that property creates. And make sure you're advertising the cost to own that property, because what you want to do is you want to make it easy for a buyer to analyze what you got so they can make you a good offer. So many folks, and most of the condos, let's be honest, are rental properties down here. And when you go to look, we did this, right? We're trying to find investment properties. Great. How much does it bring in? Unknown. Awesome. Okay, great. What's it cost to own this thing?
Crickets.
Unknown. Pass. And we go on to the next one, right? So if you're hiring an agent that is not understanding of what to put into your listings to make it easy for these guys to sell your condo or house, have that conversation.
And I feel like,
Or better yet, hire us and we can help you because we do that.
it's really unfortunate because a lot of the condos we were looking at met the criteria, but when we go into the document section, we don't see anything and have no information. We have to pass and go to the next one. So
Yeah, we just don't have time to chase it down. It just doesn't make sense. All our listings have all that. Right, Katie? Katie says yes because she's in charge of that. But it's absolutely true. People like to buy, other agents like our listings when they see it's like, A, they're going to have good pictures. B, they're going to have all the information. C, they know what they're doing. 4, it's going to get done. ABC 4. But 4, yeah, it's going to get done. So
I just don't know how you can confidently go to a buyer and say this is a good property when you're not confident because they don't even have any information on it.
Yeah, unfortunate. All right, so that's fine. Okay, so there you go. Milestone could be a pain. We're going to make it not. All right. What else? What do we got next?
the area.
Oh.
Destiny.
So every week y'all look at an area of our area.
Yes.
We focus in, right?
Yep. For our long-term listeners, y'all know we've been doing this for 5 years now. We've done everything. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for our long-term listeners, going back to last week.
This week we're talking about Destiny. And so, Destiny is unique.
Destiny East, West, and by the sea.
Exactly. There's 3 different subdivisions. However, they all are next to each other.
Kind of like sister neighborhoods.
Yeah. It's kind of like you get passed on from one to the other, but they're all in prime position because they're all south of Highway 98.
What was just said right there? Kind of like sister neighborhoods, and you said, yeah, they get passed on to one another. What in the wide world of sports?
Okay, we were gonna skip
All right,
past
well,
that, pretend we didn't.
I'm not going to go to your family reunion, but I like where you're going. All right, keep going.
Going back to real estate and Destiny. So there's Destiny East, Destiny West, and Destiny by the Sea. They're all south of Highway 98, and one of the best things about all 3 of them is they are located next to some of the best public beach accesses on the Emerald Coast, as far as parking, as far as wide beaches. We've talked about it before. We're going to keep talking about it. As far as who owns the beach, well, when you're in one of these neighborhoods, you really don't have to worry about it as much as you do in other places around here.
It's an amazing place.
Mm-hmm.
My in-laws, their first place they owned down here was there, right in Destiny West. I can see it in my mind's eye right now. And they bought it right after Hurricane Opal back in 1990. I think Opal hit in 95. They bought it in 96, where everything was torn up and all that stuff. And it was just a new subdivision. I mean, it's right across the street from the beach.
Literally,
Yeah.
right across the
James Lee State Park, I think, right there,
Yes.
right? And it was a great place. And they did like a lot of people. They lived in North Dakota. Yeah, there's crab. They lived in North Dakota and they came down here for 3 or 4 months as snowbirds, and then they went back and rented it out until they finally moved down here. But what a great neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what we were realizing. We were driving through there today, and all of the houses, they had the signs for the rentals, contacts. So we think most of those houses in those areas are for rentals. I mean, they're right on the beach. We have lots of great restaurants. We have the sidewalk. People ride their bikes, rent golf carts. It's just a great area to vacation on the beach.
So cool.
Yeah, another thing, we were back in there today, and you turned right off the beach and you're in this neighborhood, but I mean, you're right there again. We were looking at a couple places and we go, man, it's so quiet back here. It's so nice. We go to leave, we take the first left. I mean, there are droves and droves of kids walking along the beach. And I mean, it's nice. You gotta get that. You're a little separated, but I mean, your walking distance is one of the best beaches.
Go back to that picture. This is the pool at Destiny West. I recognize it. Can you go back to the pool? All right. I mean, look how nice that is.
You can see the beach.
Yeah, I mean, you see the beach out there. I mean, I want to jump in that thing. And I think that's from the second floor. They have this party room there, or a community room. They got a workout place there.
Center,
tennis courts, basketball. You can lift weights, all that stuff. It is such a great place.
Yeah. And then in Destiny East, you kind of have the same setup with a big pool, with a big community area. They also have a 25-seat private movie theater, which is very, very interesting if you're into that. And then Destiny by the Sea.
Can you see Dune 2 in there, you think?
I think they were playing Empire last I checked. But then Destiny by the Sea is kind of the same thing. I mean, it's a little more pristine. Kaylee, isn't there security at all times. And
Oh,
All right,
things
hold
like
on.
that.
Look at this. That is not like Saturday at the beach. Go back to that. That must be like 4 o'clock in the morning. There's not one car there. Some drunk left his car there. Yeah, perfect, right?
I think that's
No
Christmas
beach
Day.
chairs.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but they got public parking there. People drive their golf carts and
Mhm.
park there. And almost every day, it is just happening there. It's such a great beach.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, I've lived here my
Oh.
entire life. That's where my mom likes to go to the beach. I mean, that's where people like us say, hey,
Yeah.
let's go to the beach. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, the best part about any of these neighborhoods, Destiny, East, West, or by the sea, is that's the beach and you live there.
Okay, go back to that crab trap picture. Let me tell you guys about. Yeah, maybe I should tell you about it. So they got a bar back there, right? You can sit and have a couple drinks, cocktails as you look out. They got a bunch of toys or swing sets or whatever type stuff for your kids. It's such a wonderful environment to hang out there. I know people come from all over let's just say it, the world
Mm-hmm.
to hang out at places like Crab Trap, Whale's Tail, Pompano Joe's, all these type of places. They're just so great, so
In that
great.
picture, you could see Destiny by the Sea is right beside Crab Trap.
So let's talk
Everything
Destiny
that
by the
you
Sea for a minute. Big bucks?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. For sure. This is this community, I mean, it's gated on either side. There's an armed guard, or not an armed guard, but security post there 24 hours a day. I mean,
Kyle Rittenhouse is out there with his NRA shirt.
all these
Good.
houses back right up to that beach we're talking about. So I mean, Destiny East, West, right? You can walk over. You got public places. Destiny by the Sea, that's your beach. You back right up to, I mean, one of the most beautiful areas in the world.
Okay, these are bigger houses, right?
Yep.
Rentals, generally speaking.
No, we would say most of when we were looking, Destiny by the Sea is mostly second homes, third homes.
Okay,
It's my
okay.
5th home, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
East, West, I mean, we would say West is probably 90% rentals. East, probably 60, 70%.
Okay.
There's a few full-time residents, but East, West are mainly going to be those hotbeds for renting it out, especially during the busy seasons.
Got it. What's a house cost here in Destiny? What are we talking about?
So on the low end of Destiny East, we're looking around 1 million, and then on the high end around 2.5 million.
Okay.
And that's Destiny East. There's going to be a picture of the high and low.
So what's $1 million get you? 3-4 bedrooms? There you go.
This one's the high. So this is your highest in Destiny East.
Okay, that looks like a rental.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Looks like a rental. Okay. And I think the rents, do you have any idea what the rent for goes in there?
Yeah, normally, from what we were found, normally between 120 to 160. And so, I mean, it's a wider area, and a lot of that depends on
Mhm.
your agency, who you go through, your marketing team, and then also your renovations. But normally it's around that 120 to 160 area.
Got it.
And then we'll look at Destiny West on the low end. You're looking at about 1.8 million. There will be a picture of that. Yeah, there's our $1.8 million house for the lowest price in there. And then on the high end, we're looking at almost $7 million.
But again, this is so great because you get out, you got all this community stuff there. You can walk up and down the beach. Yeah, that place looks all right if you want. Place on the beach. Nice, huh? Yeah, it's a great neighborhood. And what people do, go up and down the beach, right?
100%. Yeah, I mean, you go out there anytime the sun's up, and you'll see people running, you'll see people biking. They do these rental car things up and down with these little 3 wheels. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a happening place. And I mean, like John touched on, it's Pompano Joe's, Whale's Tail, Crab Trap, and then you go all the way to the west and you have Henderson Beach State Park. And so CA98 is a really, really cool area. There's some great restaurants.
So great.
There's always stuff going on. There's always people. If you ever go on a walk or a jog there, everyone is smiling. I mean, who can't? You're walking parallel to one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So it is a really, really unique and really cool area around here.
And let's talk real quick about the beach access. The availability to get to the water on Scenic 98 is pretty impressive, right?
I would argue it's unparalleled for the area.
You got James Lee State Park, which is a lot. You've got that area by Pompano Joe's.
Which is a huge parking
It's a
lot.
big parking
There's an
lot.
overflow parking lot across the street.
Yeah. And then I think Amalfi Condo, and I know this is a little further into Miramar Beach there, but they opened up a new place. You looked into the one, they tore down some houses somewhere around
Yeah,
there?
so they have the public beach access. They're waiting to put in the park and extra parking, which we hope to see happen within the next year.
You talked to the mayor and he gave you the inside on that, right?
Yeah, we did. We spoke about that, and I said, please put in your parking. We want to come to the beach.
Nice. Excuse me. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, down there on Seating 98, I mean, it is great. There's plenty of beach access parking. I mean, we're going to talk about it more coming up next week. We're going to have a big thing on, how, I mean, you come down here and you say, oh, there's the beach. Let's go to the beach. It's not that simple. Some of the beach you can go to, some you can't. It's gray areas. Seating 98, I mean, is probably the one spot on the Emerald Coast where, I mean, you see the beach, you can get there.
all right, let me think through my mind. So on one end, you got Henderson State, right? You got the Henderson, which is a super nice place to go hang out, have some drinks and whatever, look out over the state park. Super great. You got Camille's. You guys ever eat at Camille's?
Oh, so good. I love Camille's.
Yeah.
I mean, Camille's there. You can eat at Pompano Joe's and all that. Where else you got? You got Wales. You got Captain Dave's. I don't know. You guys ever eat at Captain
Not
Dave's?
really. I mean, yeah. I mean, Camille's is the big one. I mean, you got a bunch. I think the Henderson, the new place down there, has some cool restaurants down in there
I think
now.
there's some in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff.
The
to
Surf
do.
Hut. The Surf Hut, is that one?
Oh yeah, Surf Hut's brand new one down there. I feel like a lot of people go there.
Then you get down to the Outlet Mall, and there's all kinds of stuff there. So yeah, it's super great place. Katie says she likes to drink over there
Oh yeah.
That's what I heard. Actually saw her the other weekend.
at Captain Dave's. Yep. So that's good. A stone's throw from her house, which makes it good, so she can get home easy. Yep. Don't drink and drive. All right. Yeah. Anyway, different story. So that's what's going on in the area. What other cool things are happening?
Destin Commons, they just put up their new umbrella.
All right, hold. What is the Destin Commons for pizza?
Destin Commons is going to be the shopping
there
center
you
you want to go to when you're in town. It's an outdoor shopping center.
Yeah.
We also have the outlet malls, but this one's closer to my house. I just prefer the Destin Commons.
That's where you get your Chipotle, right?
Right.
You get bowl.
They have the movie theater where Jackson was this week. Is that the movie theater you went to?
Yeah, that was the one I went to. That's my home turf. Yeah, Destin Commons is great. I mean, it's got everything you want. You got a Bass Pro on one end, you got a Bell's on the other, and you got everything in between in the middle. I mean, you also have some great restaurants there too.
Yeah,
I mean,
stuff.
the aforementioned Chipotle, I am a huge proponent of. And then, I mean, you've got some local spots in there too.
It's nice when you go, yeah, they got great restaurants like Chipotle. It's
No, he's right. In middle school, we would walk from the middle school to the Destin Commons for our field trips.
yeah, nice.
Destin Commons is the place to be.
Y'all ever done this? Is Top Golf over there? Or
I haven't, but I went into the food court. They have really good food. It's a little bit pricey for
Is
the
it?
Destin Commons, but I have seen the golf simulator, and people really get after it. They're really serious in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Is that guy
there's.
hitting a soccer ball?
I was about to say.
It's like Fred or Herman Munster walking up there. Yeah, there's a soccer ball. I guess you can kick a soccer ball out there too. Nice. What's the gal on the right doing there?
Watching that guy hit the
She's
soccer
like
ball.
playing roulette or something. Oh, it's a guy? That's a guy. Oh, I'm sorry if you're. I guess it kind of is. All right, anyway,
Yeah.
back on track. What else? What else is new?
There's also some new restaurants that have opened up by the aforementioned Surf Hut. If you go north in between that and the Outlet Mall, there's two new spots. Camelfo, which is a really nice kind of Italian type place, and then Bosforo,
Bosforo.
and then that's kind of a Mediterranean place. And I mean, both of these places are pretty upscale restaurants for the area, which is nice. And I mean, it's always nice when you have newer ventures starting in an area.
I was at dinner there last Saturday. That's where I ran into my guy.
What was your impression?
I give it a 10 out of 10,
Wow.
which is interesting because it used to be a
IHOP.
IHOP, right? Which I give 11 out of 10.
Yeah,
But it's no Chipotle, but it's pretty good. But no, this place was really good, and the name stems from the Bosphorus Straits in Central Europe, right? Eastern Europe. I don't know about my geography between Turkey and whatever's between Turkey and the next thing. But yeah, that's what it's about. And so it was really, really good. Yeah, I had the filet. It was. I might go and get tonight. I'll be right back.
We'll be there if you're paying.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
stop by. It takes a buck or two to go there for sure. But you know what's cool about that place? It's near the outlet mall there.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the other one you were at?
Camelfo.
Camelfo. Okay. And I think there's another fish food place. I can't think of what it's called right now. But there's like, and then you got a pizza joint right there.
Yeah, that pizza
Lost
place is
Pizza.
really good.
Right?
They do good. And I mean, it's always nice. I mean, it's a good sign of good things in the area. When you have new ventures, taking risks in a new area, that shows promise and faith in the market.
With high-end dining, I mean, this is some good high-end food that they're having. And then if you work your way down, I think there is a Subway there too for the other end. But I guess you get a tuna thing. That might be higher end. But no, it's really good. We're getting a lot of new restaurants in here, which I like a lot. I'm not really a foodie, but when I have good food, I recognize it. That's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Any other things out there? That it?
Spring break is almost here. We've seen lots of people in town. I know my friends from LSU come in town this week, but I think it's really going to kick off next week, and we're just going to see the traffic and the beaches packed. But that's why people come here, for the beaches. So.
I like it.
It was funny going back to what we were saying about, you know, how people get. We were driving down the beach today. We saw all these college kids in these huge houses, these huge Airbnbs down by the beach, and we go, how are we affording these things? How are they affording these things? And it goes back to the fact that they want to be here. Yeah. They're gonna find a way to make it work. And that's kind of how the market is looking for us right now as well.
You're so right on that, Jackson. That is such a good insight. Good job, Jackson. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
That's awesome, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Coming up, what are we doing this week or next week?
This week. Tomorrow we have an open house in Destiny West, which we were just talking about. It's going to be from 2 to 4, and then we'll be live on Smart Beach Investor Facebook right at 2 p.m.
Do we know anything about that house?
It's listed for $2 million. Sleeps about 20 people.
So it's a rental?
Yeah, it's nice. It normally does around 140.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting place, a really good place to get. Like we're talking about, I mean, we're talking about Destiny. I mean, it's a good spot in Destiny West to be able to be close to CA98, to the beach access, to all these restaurants.
Big house, you can bring in groups.
Yeah.
Oh,
Three-car
for sure.
garage, pool. Yeah,
Okay.
It's got a great setup. There's kitchens on both floors, so
and living
if
rooms.
you get in a fight with the other family on vacation, you don't have to see them ever again.
Nice. I might look into that. All right, good. So that's the open house tomorrow, spring break. And then next week we're going to talk about who owns the beach.
Yeah.
That is an issue.
This is a thing. I think, I know Chris, my wife, was down on 30A. They have a bunch of properties down there that they're managing. And it is a battle, right? Because they're putting guards up, right? Not on my beach, boy. And you come down here. I mean, you drive in from Arkansas or Tennessee or something. You want to go to Darn Beach, and some Bubba's telling you, not here. It's going to be a thing. So yeah, we're going to have Mark Violin, the attorney, come in, tell us about what's going on with that. So you guys are going to want to come watch that next week. It's going to be really good. Outside of that, we got anything else?
I think that's it.
Let's do it.
We'll be here back next Tuesday at 5.
All right. I can
Happy
feel it.
Tuesday.
I can feel it.